Hey everybody, it is Austin from the future. I wanted to go over a few versions that we had prior to the version that is released, because this song we were working on and off for about 2 years, and we started it in April of 2024, and kind of just went through a bunch of different vibes over the years, and we couldn't really get it down until a couple months ago when we kind of went the chill progressive house route, and it ended up being what it is today. But yeah, I wanted to go over the original demo and then two versions of the song that were not finished and were changed because I think it'd be cool. But yeah, so the first version here is the original demo that was sent to me from Miles. So this was his original idea. So originally it was very synthwave, a lot like reminiscent of people like the Midnight, and I definitely at the time loved that vibe, and I still do. So I was definitely drawn to this demo and the progression and the melody and whatnot. So I thought it would be really cool to work on. Um, so at the time, if you know me, you know I'm a very big Midnight Kids fan, and I was doing a lot of music that was very reminiscent of that sound. So, of course, I wanted to go that direction with the song. So that is how we came up with the second version, which is here. So yeah, super cool. But again, very very close to that Midnight Kid sound. And as time moved on, and the demo kind of got older and older, and I had more time to kind of sit down and think about it, I didn't feel like this was the right direction for it. Along with the fact that it was pretty close to Midnight Kids, so I wanted to try and steer away from it. So that's how we got to our third version, which was November of 2024, so almost or over a year ago now, um, well over a year ago, and we kind of went for more of a mainstream sound, more of like a pop EDM fusion with this one. So this is what that sounds like. So yeah, if you've listened to my song with Alfie Wilson called "On My Mind," this is obviously kind of from the same era, and it felt the drop didn't feel right to me, and I think Miles can definitely agree with this. It just didn't feel like it was the right direction for the song. It's cool, but it definitely didn't feel right, and it felt like we were trying to force ideas into it a little too much. So about a year goes by. As you can see by the dates, we have version 4 here, which is the first demo of the new song, like the actual song. Um, we started this a couple months ago, probably November, December, and like the final version of it, and it worked out a lot better. We had the house vibe. We kind of knew that the house vibe would be better for the song, and so we went for it. And through 2 or 3 sessions, we got 90% of the song done, and it flowed and it was easy, and before it kind of felt forced, which was great, to finally feel like it worked. So here is the first version of what the song is now. So yeah, obviously it feels much better, more fleshed out, and it feels like it fits the writing a lot. And you'll notice that this is actually in a different key. I wrote the top line for this song, and obviously with my voice, it's a lot lower than Emma, who is the vocalist on the song. So we had to transpose it a little bit just to make it work. But yeah, that is the backstory of the song. This old song went all the way from a synthwave demo to a chill house, progressive house song. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy the production breakdown. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey, and until next time. Alright, so the beginning of the song is like this. Yeah. So, the main thing that you hear off rip is this guy. And this actually came in a little later in the process. We felt like it kind of needed the song, especially the intro and the verse. It felt like it kind of needed a little bit more of a rhythmic element, because at first it just sounded like this. I don't even think the shakers were in there, so we added this in. Just a plug from Serum, some EQ, some RC20, some OTT, some Echo, more EQ. It probably came during the mixing process, and some reverb, and then there's going to be some auto filter and utility throughout the whole song on a lot of different elements, because I use both of these often for automation, so I won't go over that too much. But along with that, we have this guy. It's kind of like an atmosphere, like pad layer. I don't remember how we made this. I think it was maybe that melody that I just showed. I know I was messing around with a lot of Contact libraries at the time, so I think we might have thrown it into some preset in a Contact synth. And then we also have this, playing me chords. It's a Patchworm Nest Acoustics with some EQ and some shimmer on there. Got some just night ambience. And we have this sample here. That is another I know that one's a Contact synth from this thing called Choreographs. I sat down one day and made a bunch of different layers from it, because it's so sick. This is this was one of those things, and I thought it fit well in the intro. So and then we have a piano, kind of the main element, I would say. And this is a noir, if that's how you say it, felt piano. And yeah, we just threw some compression and some EQ on there. Now we've got some drums, just some shakers. Got a little rate reduction with a wave shredder here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't even think we have any effects. Nope. So yeah, that's the intro and the verse. We add our main pluck. It starts to get introduced a little bit. And because because it's not really a big element, I will break that down in a second once we get back like over into the pre and the chorus. But right now it's honestly kind of a background element. Still doing that. I know we've got just this kind of 80s synth that was in the OG demo, so this sound has made it a long way. Just kind of keeping the rhythm. I don't know what that's from. I think it's might be Diva or one of the Yuhi synths, I think. I know we've got this guy. It's just such a cool layer. It keeps the tempo, it's really pretty, and I just like to add this in wherever I can in a lot of songs. Like, if you see my name on a song, there's a good chance that sample is somewhere. And then we've got another piano layer here. So this one's pretty cool. There's an addictive keys, just some random preset in there. And then just taking out lows, but what's doing most of the sound is this auto chroma. I saw Noted use this and I thought it was really sick. So, and then this preset, the in and out preset, is so cool. Yeah, I've used it to make a lot of really cool textures. And yeah, so that's kind of in conjunction with this piano layer. Yeah, so really the only thing getting added is a couple extra atmosphere layers, and the main pluck gets introduced in the background. And then we get into the pre. I think this is where we start really getting into the song. Pluck opens up, and now I think it's the main element of the song. So, made this with Diva. It's just a really simple patch, but we've got OTT, EQ, some more EQ on here, some reverb, delay, classic stuff, and then we've got a portal doing some automation, I think. Yeah. Let's see if he can hear it. And if I take it off. Yeah, doesn't do a ton, but I think it just makes the delay feel a little more interesting. So that's the main synth. There's a compressor on here doing a very small amount of compression, just for whenever the synth opens up a lot, and then obviously some more automation stuff with the auto filter and utility. We've got this. I think this is a big part of the song. This is such a cool layer. This was made by Severo, or Sam from Noted. Take a lot of inspiration from him, and he's just such an incredible producer and writer, and just kind of a jack of all trades. So yeah, he makes some really cool stuff on his Patreon. I would definitely check that out. And then we've also got this melody here. This also has made it a very long way. This was kind of a tag that we had in the demo. It just kind of fit in every different version of the song. Trap keys preset with some RC20 on here, and I think what's doing a lot of sounds is this digital knob right here. If I turn it off, gives it a lot of that digital higher like texture. And then we just got some EQ, really basic, lots of reverb, lots of delay, and then a little bit more mixing EQ there, and then some utility for volume automation. And I think that's pretty much it. I know we're adding this little bass here, which this is just a basic, really basic patch from Dune, kind of a low filtered saw bass. doing some effects here, which I won't really go over. It's just boring samples. And we're taking out the drums. Getting into the chorus, kind of acts more like a build, and I think really the only thing that we're adding to this one is shaker comes back, but this time we don't have the rate reduction on. And then we just have this kind of all-over loop that I like to use for build-ups. Oh, and obviously, how can I forget? Got the kick. Doing some EQ on there, filtering it out. This is for later. Some volume automation with utility. And that is pretty much it. We got some risers down here. And then we get into the drop. We are really just using these synths that were shown earlier. But this time we have this little accent down here. This is I mean, it is a simple patch in Serum. Some saw waves, some noise, some filter. Most of the sound is coming from the post-processing. We've got some extra noise coming in here, some little bit of stereo, or not stereo, but a little bit of pitch wobble. Decent amount of distortion, some magnetic. The new Distort is doing a lot of distortion, giving it a good amount of noise. Yeah, so doing that, some OTT, some EQ, giving it a little bit more distortion with this plugin. Giving it some reverb, hybrid reverb there. Lots of delay. And some autofilter. And then this guy, I think we threw this accent, I think we just threw it into Portal. Came out with a cool like delay granular thing, and then we just reversed it into the actual sound, and it kind of gives it this cool, I don't know, like pre-delay. I don't think that's the right term. Got some chord elements here. It's the main one. Some saw plucks. I feel like these give the drop a lot of texture, and this is just a patch and doom. It's what kind of my go-to for saw pluck stuff. Going into some OTT, some EQ, a little more sidechain. I'm sidechaining this group, but I felt like these needed to pump a little bit more, so added that. Got a little bit of reverb, and then of course some auto filter for more automation. And then that's just some sick patch from Diva. What else? Still got the night ambience. Still got this little 8-bit thing. Some other ambient layers here. Yeah, so new piano layer for the drop. It's this guy. Which there's actually a decent amount going on here. Which is funny because you can't even hear it. But using that same piano from earlier, except this time I think we've got a different EQ shape, a little bit more reverb on there, another type of reverb, shimmer. Got some crystallizer, which as you can see is a granular echo synthesizer. I can probably show what it's doing. So without, with. So you can hear it's like these little artifacts in the background that kind of come in. I wanted to get a little extra weird with it, so I added this tape delay, automated the rate, so you'll hear every time it gets automated, there's like a little lasery glitch sound. You kind of gotta listen in. It's very quiet, and I don't really know if there was a reason to do that, but I saw Dayglow do that and I was inspired. Got some compression going on here, some EQ, again just more processing going on there. We got our bass layers. So this is our main bass. It's a trap bass from Rob Late. I think I did a little bit of tweaking with the processing. I might have added a little more distortion. Might have messed with the filter and the noise, but anyway, we got some OTT, cutting out the sub frequencies because we have a sub down here. And I don't know why I have reverb on there. Sometimes I like to do that, I guess, but. And then we're just using a utility, and we're using the width knob, kind of narrow it down, because if I turn that off, it's subtle, but it's a pretty wide sounding bass, and I didn't like how wide it was. Some people did, but we just have a classic sub down here. Let's add some effects here. Pretty much the drop. We have some extra like stuff come in during the post. Like we've got these vocal samples from Cloud9. Another one up here. And then we've got this counter melody. Again from Diva. Doing a little bit of weird automation with Portal again. We've got this little vocal sample here, which I am now realizing should have a spring reverb on it, and it doesn't, but that's okay. And there's also nothing I can do about it now. Just chopped up the vocal, kind of keep the tempo a little bit, I guess. Doing some OTT, multi-band compression, some echo, pretty intense EQ, taking out a lot of lows, a little bit of highs, and then distorting it and modulating it a tiny bit with a bad channel, just boosting the volume with utility. As far as the drums go, got our kick. Very, very minimal processing going on there. Got this fill. Clap is down here. Struggled with this one a little bit. Had a lot of different options. As you can see, we've got an old clap up here, but this ended up being the favorite for me and Miles and kind of a lot of people who were giving feedback. So got the Cashmere classic pre-shifted clap up here for one layer, and then just a more synthesized sounding clap from Cloud9. And as you can see, there's literally no EQ on this bottom one, a little bit there, but we are doing some transient shaping, a little bit of attack, a little bit less sustain, making it a little more tight, I guess, and then also a glue compressor, and then we've got just some percussion elements down here. Shout out to Cloud9. We also have some stuff here. Just some extra percussion and effects that were sent to me by a friend of mine that kind of lifted up a little bit more. So that is the drop. And the rest of the song, there's not a lot of new stuff, so I don't really know if there's much more to go over, but for the verse, we're bringing back the pads and the ambiances. I know this is new. This is another thing that came from the OG demo. But yeah, I mean, bringing back the verse piano. We're filtering this kick a lot with this. Pretty simple. The verses doesn't have a lot going on. one of the only new elements coming in, besides the kick being part of the pre this time. It's just a serum patch from Nest Acoustics, some RC20, some EQ. Got this new ambience layer. Got the piano stuff coming back. And then once we get into the chorus / build, there's a couple new things. We've got this bass down here. It's adding a lot extra stuff to the low mids. It's a little, I feel like it might be a little intense, but I still like it. Got another preset from Nest Acoustics. I think I had just gotten his serum pack, so I was like trying to figure out ways I could use it in this song. Again, some OTT on there. Taking out a decent amount of low end, really just like the sub frequencies and a little bit of low mids here, and then giving it kind of a pumping effect with LFO tool, and that's just layering in with this bass, fill drums, same as last time, but we've got this snare build. That's pretty much it, and then we've got this little clap fill, which is just an 808 clap with rate reduction, some EQ, some reverb, compression, and then just a little pre-shift reverb reversed tail thing into it. And then just same effects as last time, I think. And then the drop is pretty much the exact same. If you've heard the song already, you'll know that the vocal comes. So we take out a decent amount of stuff. We took out this melody. We filtered down the leads. You know, outro comes in. And we just have this this piano playing. It's like kind of like a break progression. We have it one time right here, and then we just kind of double it for the outro, and that closes out the song. That is pretty much everything. If I missed something, if you want me to go more into depth on anything, definitely let me know, and I'd be happy to do that. But thank you for watching. Stream We Say Goodbye on all platforms. We would really appreciate it, and thank you for watching. If you have any other songs in mind that you want me to break down, leave them in the comments, and I will try my best to record those as well. I'll catch you in the next one.